Um, Probably the matchup I'm the least knowledgeable about. Gonna see if one of them makes roaches or mutas or baneling busts. One of those variants. See how it goes.
We will
So
definitely see how that goes. And ZVZ, when I was casting a little bit earlier on, you always have those. You always have the guy that's like every single game, they just like six pool or whatever. There's always that one guy in those different ZVZ series. Not six pool, but those things.
yeah, we see some friendly banter. These two are very familiar with each other. We actually have a stat from Siegfried in the chat. He says that JimRising has an overall 26 and 15 record versus ByRada.
Ooh.
So JimRising definitely favored. But get these intros going. In the top left, we have the Red Zerg from Endurance Esports taking that series 2-1 over Zeal. It is JimRising.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, from Venezuela, it is ByRada, the Blue Zerg. Man, yeah, 26 versus 15. ByRada is going to try to make himself a name here, get himself out of it. But as you were saying, don't know as much about ZVZ on this map, but Terraform is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. I think actually the smallest rush distance-wise, so you always have the possibility for an early pool in ZVZ. You got to be very wary about that, but this is a first game in a best of 3, so there is a slight bit of wiggle room. Definitely you don't want to take the chance, but maybe able to get the damage done.
Yeah, we see not an early pull, a safe pull timing from ByRada. It looks like JimRising's gonna go for that hatch first here. So it's gonna be hard for ByRada to punish this hatch first from Jim with that pull timing.
Just going for a pool before hatch in this situation, playing it out so, okay, if he does rush me or something, I will have a slightly quicker queen, something to defend. As Siegfried, the lovely man in the chat, did say that, ByRada doesn't have the best win rate, so he's going to be playing a little bit safe.
Yeah, definitely. JimRising definitely getting the slightly better end of this build order though.
For now, though, nothing too much going down. Overlords of ByRada, actually kind of an interesting position. Slightly different than, they're like 1 pixel down than normal, but you know what, we'll see. We'll spot the natural, it doesn't mean anything towards the game, it's just I'm curious how that happened, but ByRada will get a nice scout off into the natural base of JimRising. Pretty much scouts, okay, cool, you did hatch first, I believe. Everything seems pretty normal, and yeah, it's turning out into a normal macro game on Terraform. Any thoughts on Jim? I know we saw JimRising's plays game. We saw his plays in game 1, 2, and 3 of that first series, and really from that, I mean, he's a patient player. He's careful, and I'm wondering if ByRada may be the player that's like, okay, I'll just go for the baneling bust, whatever, and just by his nature of his patience, is able to edge himself out.
Yeah, maybe. We see a really much earlier speed from ByRada than JimRising. That's a product of that pull first. But JimRising is going to follow up with slightly later speed. But the build orders are very similar. We see JimRising 1 drone up from that hatch first opening.
Nothing too big, no too big advantages, but still, there is that slight advantage for JimRising. We'll see how it all ends up and culminates. Metabolic Boost not too different for either one. The first one to deviate will be ByRada, getting the Baneling Nest, playing it a little bit safe or possibly aggressively. Good defense is always a good offense, but for now, JimRising desperately is trying to get into the main. Oh, and he's so close to making it. Either way,
And
both players will be playing Baneling Ling versus Baneling Ling.
yeah, definitely the most exciting phase of ZVZ in my opinion. And I'll change one slight
5 minute
misclick.
mark, definitely very exciting. 2 Lings v 2 Lings and a Queen. It's exciting, yes.
Oh, I love Queen versus Ling action.
I'm sure I just have Hawkeye laughing. I can't tell if I'm funny or just Hawkeye finds everything I say funny is essentially where I get from this. But we have our lovely observer Hawkeye, of course, and now the Lings moving out across the map, and generally I would suggest keeping your Lings in the line of sight blockers first, just to intercept kind of when it is just the 2 scatterlings. But for now, ByRada's speed slightly quicker will allow him to edge through and get a nice scout in the main layer. Coming down for JimRising, looking like it may be some sort of muta play. Still needs to put down the extractors, but we'll see how that all ends up. Actually, not necessarily, but still looks like something meta.
Yeah, this could. The gases from ByRada are a lot earlier than the gases of JimRising here. They're just taking them now. But this could very well go into Muta versus Muta. And ByRada will have a slight edge just based off of his gas timings.
Oh, but the Banelings get into the natural
Oh.
base of ByRada right there. And Lings, so many Lings, a huge swell does take ByRada slightly off kilter. JimRising will pull back from that, but I don't know how many kills he got with that.
Yeah, he
I
is
think
up
6
5.
in total, but still.
He's up. Yeah, he's up 5 drones from that attack. So it's going to put him in a nice economic lead.
Definitely where and definitely will. And there's the Spire for both of them, almost the exact same timing. So nothing too huge on that. And I mean, they're both saying, you know, we're going Banling Ling. You go into Spire off the back of this. Sometimes the Roaches, but neither player scouting a third base. They both decide, you know what, best way to counter Muta, just to go Muta and see who's got that better micro. JimRising being careful. He's very wary about this, not letting any Lings get into his natural, and has defended overall a lot better and been really safe here. ByRada scouting, looking for an angle, but yeah, which won't quite happen. Oh, actually, one Baneling does sacrifice himself for that, but third base of JimRising is being taken, and now ByRada, oh, the Baneling will go down, and now there's no Banelings left for ByRada, who will have to pull back. JimRising will take a slight lead off the back of this, both players taking the third base, and really just kind of emulating each other while they just deters to each other in the middle.
So the gas bank for ByRada here is about 200 gas bigger. So that means when the Spires do finish, ByRada's going to be able to pump out a few more mutas initially. But that's kind of a big deal in Universe Muta fights. Just one extra muta can really swing the tide of the battle.
Oh, definitely, the bouncing attack can do that quite.
But JimRising might have to cancel here on this third base. Yeah, and he does. That's huge. That's going to allow...
That's incredibly huge when they're so even in the games. But right now, actually, we see a big difference. JimRising will be the first to go into Muta, while ByRada made a big swell of Banelings into Mutas. So they may actually be even, like you were saying, or they may actually be slightly more even than we think, but still making the Mutas. And both players, I assume, know that's what's going on. They don't see new Roach one. They don't see new Roaches yet. So that's going to be a big factor, as you said, with those bouncing attacks, Kaboosh.
So something nice here is for ByRada is that he's going for the Carapace attack, or not Carapace attack, Carapace upgrade, while as JimRising's going for the +1 flyer attack. And in Muta vs Muta, the +1 Carapace is so much more important than the +1 flyer attack. But ByRada getting a really nice kill on the third base here for JimRising.
Both players sort of resetting each other, but this time it was a lot bigger for ByRada because JimRising his hatch was done, is being remade, but now JimRising, that has kind of allowed him to not only attack the army while it was retreating, but now he's kind of got a nice amount of energy going with this, or a nice push. Oh, Muta versus Muta will be going down. How many Mutas currently out of the map? 10 to 12. ByRada does have a 2 Muta Ling, as you actually mentioned, really coolly enough, but for now, I mean, JimRising, he does have the Ling on the ground advantage and may be able to deny this third base.
Yeah, players going back and forth, just trying to kill each other's third bases. It looks like JimRising will get pushed away here. But the no gas income from the third bases is really keeping this game scrappy. The Muta count staying so incredibly close.
Definitely, they can't quite make it, and no extractors yet at ByRada's third base, but there is the extractors for JimRising here. Although JimRising, I mean, he's being really aggressive. They are very even, and he doesn't really care about that. ByRada is edging out in that Muta lead, but JimRising heading towards the main and may be able to snipe even that Spire. He's got to be really careful. All the Mutas are out of position for ByRada, but now they're coming in for a little bit of a flank. Will they make it? Actually, this could be a beautiful flank. JimRising's got to be so careful about this. He will manage to snipe. Actually, he does snipe the Queen, but won't quite get anything else on the back of this. Oh, he's got to be so careful moving this other Queen. Oh.
So JimRising had a little window there where his +1 attack had finished and +1 Carapace for ByRada had not, but now they're both done. ByRada taking a little bit of a sloppy engagement. They're only fighting with half of his mutas, but pulls away very quickly.
Still, JimRising is being annoying, trying to deny that third base, trying to just keep ByRada back. ByRada does have that advantage, as you mentioned, and now ByRada is finally going on the aggression with these mutas and doing, well, almost the exact same thing JimRising was doing. Lings at the top of the map are coming around clockwise, same as the mutas, and they're all heading towards that third base. Lings stop, maybe looking to take the natural. Muta Clouds are going to hit, and at the moment is 23 mutas of ByRada with +1. Carapace, as you mentioned, is better to the 20 of JimRising with +1 attack. Maybe he planned to be a little bit more aggressive, or not even aggressive, but simply a little bit more harassy.
Yeah, this game is staying so incredibly even. The drone counts are always even. The muta counts within one muta of each other. All the aggressions getting pretty well defended from both players.
Definitely both players defending quite well.
We see JimRising's muta upgrades just a little bit faster than ByRada here. He's going for his +1 Carapace. He's got about 30-40 seconds on it.
Oh, and here's the battle, guys. This is it currently for ByRada. He has 17 mutas, and amazingly enough, JimRising actually edges out during that battle. I don't know if ByRada was on a move command right there, but JimRising was the one to initiate it. Although with his mutas across the map, ByRada is going for the counterattack into the third base of JimRising. A large swell of Lings will hit. Currently 26 Lings out of the map, while there's literally 0 Lings for JimRising. He has no ground defense, and this third base is potentially at jeopardy.
Yeah, he probably won't get the third base here, but he got all the drones here, especially the gas drones. So that's going to be huge for ByRada. He's going to be able to pump out more mutas than JimRising over time, as the gases are still not repopulated yet. So he's
third base of
his opponent.
Definitely the third base of both players really delayed right there. It looks like ByRada's going to try to down the fourth base of JimRising, but now, once again, ByRada actually does catch a decent amount of these Lings under the mutas, but JimRising is really afraid to engage right here. JimRising is going for, actually both players are going for +2 respectively. Take that back, ByRada, interesting enough, going for +1, while JimRising going for +2. He may start to get the advantage here, and especially after that little battle, he's starting to get rolling and taking a little bit of advantage here, snowballing up, but there's a beautiful catch on a lot of these Lings. Not allowing ByRada to keep up those Ling harassments like he has in the previous times to really even out the battles.
But ByRada's going to take his mutas into this really weak third base. He's going to take out the Spore here, loses a muta. Oh, he actually doesn't kill the Spore, loses a second muta, but he will be able to focus down this third hatch, which is pretty big here. JimRising's going to catch him on the way out, though, getting some free shots. He's actually losing a ton of mutas here, ByRada is. That's slightly out of position with that attack.
In a whole bunch of these muta v muta battles, ByRada has actually been moving move command and hasn't killed a single muta this entire time. I don't know what he was paying attention to, Kaboosh. JimRising may be able to take this. He is fighting right on top of the Spore, but the transfuses, are they good enough right here? ByRada's desperately trying to rely off that. Currently, it is 6 mutas to 29. This is game 1 of a best of 3. I think JimRising may have got the advantage and snowballed to take it, but he's still got to be really careful. Lings are going across the map, but right now JimRising, he's got no 30, doesn't care about it. Currently, it is pretty darn even, and I think JimRising's be able to take it, Kaboosh.
Yeah, this looks like checkmate here for JimRising. He got so many mutas there, chasing ByRada's mutas back to his base. And once you go that far down in the muta count in ZVZ, it's basically over. Bar from your opponent fighting over Spores. No real coming back from that.
Yeah, ByRada desperately trying to pull JimRising back, but move commanding twice, slaughters the army, and JimRising is able to take game 1 after pretty back and forth. Both players sniping the third bases of each other. Eventually, yes, ByRada did get the third base of JimRising, but because he didn't... The reason why he got that third base was because there was no Lings, which in turn allowed JimRising to have a couple more mutas, which eventually just allowed him to win that battle. So even though third base was sniped, JimRising edged out ahead and had a very nice just pursuit.
Definitely a very nice engagement there. What was our second map here? Let's see. Looks like it'll be Cactus Valley. Thank you.
Oh, Cactus Valley, then Dash and Terminal. Seeing Dash and Terminal more in the ZVZs, but he can always have some kind of scary plays that happen on that map and really base tradey awkward situations.